Hey everyone, it's Raina with Harmonizing Hearts in Christ. I apologize that I've been away from you guys for a little bit of time. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I posted a video, a couple of weeks since I posted a blog post, and I've just been super busy. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so that takes up such a huge chunk of my time, my day. And in addition to that, I've been studying a lot. I have been studying and preparing sermons and teaching. So all those will be coming soon. I just thank you guys for hanging in there. Yeah, so I just wanted to take literally just a couple of minutes to go over this. My Apostle Nataki, um, out of Love Broke the Chains Ministries in Detroit, Michigan, has been teaching the past couple of weeks on the strategies, and the playbook is open, specifically the strategies on how to navigate through spiritual war, how to emerge victorious from the battles, specifically in the courts of heaven. Um, and today I was sitting down and the Lord just began to talk to me about making a decision. You have to make a decision. We have to make a decision. Um, there's so much power that comes when you make a decision. It's like being, they say you're at the fork in the road and you can either go left or you could go right. But what happens is we're at the fork in the road sometimes, and because we fail to make a decision and go right or go to the left, we just start walking straight, and straight is not even a road. Straight is just pure wilderness, and we put ourselves in the wilderness. We take ourselves off of the path and decide to go into the wilderness when we fail to make a decision. I know recently I've had to make a decision. The Lord has been speaking some things to me probably since May, June, and I received it, loved everything that he had to say, but it came a point in time where I had to make a decision. The reason why the decision is so important and it's so crucial for us to make is because when you don't decide, you don't know what path you're taking. And absent you being on the right path, that's absent of you being able to get the specific and appropriate instructions that we need in order to get to our destination. I know I'm guilty of it, of sitting back and just daydreaming and fantasizing, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. It would be nice if this, and this, came into being. But none of that is going to happen until we make a decision. Because when you make the decision, that's when you get the tools that you need to be able to see the fulfillment of your decision, to be able to see the fruition of your decision. That's why Jacob said, choose ye this day who you will serve, whether it's God, serve God. If you want to serve, a demigod, an idol, serve that. But you have to decide. It starts with the decision. There's so many times that I know I have personally been out here roaming around in these streets looking all confused, wanting so much, but not able to obtain anything because I had failed to make a decision. So the Lord is really speaking to us today about making a decision. You know, Rebecca made a decision. When she was pregnant and she felt the two babies wrestling and fighting with each other in her womb, she decided to go inquire of the Lord, if I'm pregnant, what is this? And the Lord came back and told her there were two nations in your womb, and the older will serve the younger, right? So when she overheard Jacob now, or I'm sorry, when she overheard Isaac now getting ready to give the blessing to Esau, Rachel made a decision. It was the wrong decision. Um, that decision that she made uh, set up a chain of events that's still occurring today, a war, a hatred that's still in the earth realm today. But nevertheless, she made a decision and she saw her decision through. Her decision was to have her son, Jacob, trick Isaac into obtaining the blessing. Nevertheless, she made a decision. Um, we have to make a decision, and no longer are we able to say, well, you know what, I'm just going to ride this out and see, what comes about as I'm on this path in the wilderness. Nothing is going to come about, and that's not the life that God has given to us. That's not the life that Jesus came and manifested in this earth and suffered and died and resurrected again for us to have. He did that so that we could have life and have life more abundantly, not to be crucified just so that we can be in the wilderness on a path of not making a decision. And really, the decision boils down to, are we going to serve God or not? There's only two choices that we have to decide on. Are we going to serve God or are we not? And the problem is that when we decide to serve the Lord, uh, I don't know why we think it's going to be easy. It's not. There's going to be warfare. There's going to be struggle. There's going to be attacks. There's going to be growing pains. But those things are going to come whether we decide to serve the Lord or whether we decide to bow down to false idols. And even more so, if we decide to bow down to false idols, are we going to be persecuted and spend eternity in hell, eternity away from God. It comes with the decision. Even in the court, the judge cannot move forward in the trial until he asks the jurors, the four juror, have you reached a decision? Guilty or not guilty? Because if it's not guilty, then I, as the judge, don't have to do anything other than close the case. But if it's guilty, now I, as the judge, have to go through the laws and go through the procedures of pre-sentencing report, sentencing, all of that. So it really boils down to making a decision and the power that is in making a decision. I've had to make a decision recently. Like I said, it's been May, June that the Lord told me to do something, and I was, okay, Lord, and He gave me time. God bless Him that He gives us grace to be able to gird ourselves and be able to settle His word in our hearts, so that when we make a decision, when we decide to do or not do, but in our case, decide to do what He has called us to do, we have it anchored. We are anchored in Jesus. We have the word anchored in our hearts, and we're not going to move when the opposition and the persecution comes, because we are founded on His word. Make a decision. God will go before you and will fight battles for all of us, but He will not do that until we've made a decision. Choose ye this day. Who are you going to serve? There's so much power that comes with making a decision. There's clarity. You know the things that you have to do and you get it done. And here's another thing about the power of a decision. You can decide that you want to own 10 businesses, right? I don't have to agree with you. Your aunt, your cousin, your uncle, your mother even does not have to agree with you that you have decided to own 10 businesses. You have to agree with you. And 9 times out of 10, that choice that you have decided upon to own these 10 businesses came from the Lord. So now you have to enter into agreement with what God says for you. I don't have to agree with you unless I'm going into prayer with you. Then yes, I have to agree with you in order for us to, come together and pray that we see the manifestation of your decision to own 10 businesses. But a decision is personal. Unless you're married, a decision is personal. You decide the course that you want for your life to take. You decide. I can decide for my son that I want him to be an attorney. But if he doesn't decide that, then he's not going to be an attorney because he's the one that's doing the work to become an attorney. He's the one that would need to go to school. He's the one that would need to study. He's the one that would need to write 5011 papers. He's the one that would have to pass the bar exam. He's the one that would have to get connected with an attorney and become a student. It's on him. So it's his decision. Decisions are personal. Unless you're married, a decision is personal. So get into your prayer closet and see what is on the table. What has our Father said and spoken to you about your life, the trajectory of your life, and make a decision. Make a decision. 2020 is weeks away from being over, but the coronavirus isn't staying behind in 2020. That's coming into 2021. The unemployment rates are not getting left behind in 2020. Those are rolling into 2021. Just because it's the start of a new year does not mean that automatically things are going to start off on equal footing. No. Only how things will start off on not even equal footing, but way that things are going to start off with you being elevated is through the power of your decision. 2020 came in. It came in. It came in. It came in and it did what it needed to do. It caused a lot of people to make decisions. There are hundreds of thousands of women who decided to leave the workforce, leave corporate America. They decided to because they had to stay home with their children because it was no longer economically viable for them to remain at work and pay daycare. They decided, based on the facts that they had, we decided. You have to make a decision. And if you're struggling with what decision do I make, get into prayer. Let God tell you. Let the Spirit of God lead you into the truth of the matter. Don't get overwhelmed by the facts. Don't be moved by the facts. Only be moved by what the Spirit of the living God says for you to do and make the decision. Choose wisely. Choose ye this day. Choose this day. I had to make a couple of phone calls this morning in the process of making my decision. And it was a wonderful thing because the first phone call I made, I didn't even have to make a phone call for that. I just did that on the computer. And it was so easy. I said, wait a minute, hold on. Let me call these people and make sure that it was just like that. And it was. And I heard God speak to me and say, when you make a decision, I open up the heavens to assist you. Make the decision. Then every phone call that I made thereafter was easier. Things were just happening. Things were moving. Things are coming into place. Things are coming into order because I've made the decision. And not only have I made the decision, but I'm walking out my choice. I'm walking out my decision. I decided that I was going to do a few things. And when I decided that I was going to do a few things, then I took the next steps and began to walk out my decision. And I'm telling you, it's like the heavens opened up and all of the resources that I needed started coming. And I'm not saying that to make it seem as though this is a um, feel good movement, and none of that. You ain't gonna get that over here. This is the truth. Make the decision and walk into it. It's not always going to be easy. Joshua made a decision and he had to go to war. He had to go to war. We have to expect that we are going to go to war for the things that we have decided we want to see and obtain in our lives. It's not going to come easy. Nobody hands anything to us. Not even the world do they do that. Oh, here you go. Take this. I'm just going to hand it to you because you decided. Here you go. Doesn't work like that. But once you've made a decision and you've taken the steps, you're invested, you have what we call in the mortgage industry, you have skin in the game. You know, you've invested your time, your talents, your gifts, your resources to see your decision bear fruit. And God is with us. God honors that. As long as we are deciding in ways that are pleasing to Him, in ways that are in agreement with His will, He will. He will help. And His Spirit will guide us into all truth. So, said I wasn't going to be before you long, and I think I did it. Woo woo. So yeah, just the power of making a decision. I'm so excited for 2021. I'm excited for the remainder of 2020. I'm excited for what's coming up in 2021. I feel energized. I feel invigorated. I have my notebooks together. I've been writing. I've been studying. I've been researching, and I have been walking out my decision. I know that next year, a lot of things that I daydreamed about, to be honest, over the past 10 years, I'm going to see the manifestation of that in 2021 because of the power of my decision. So decide this day who you're going to serve and decide right. I love you guys. I will talk to you next time. Raina with Harmonizing Hearts in Christ. Oh, and check out the website. There's a new book out, an ebook. It's for free. You don't have to put in your name, your email, none of that. Just go on the website, harmonizinghearts.org, and download the ebook. And I hope you enjoy. All right. Love you guys. See you next time.